Sarah, your eyes are closed and you feel your arms embracing someone. You're down on your knees and you feel a warmth in front of you. You also feel sort of an all over tingling sensation. Give me a perception check before you open your eyes, real quick.
Roll a 2.
Okay, so a total of 12. You get the sense that you might not be entirely sober given this tingling sensation, but you have your eyes closed and then you open them and see that your head is like tucked over the shoulder of someone. They appear to be wearing a like hospital style gown,
Okay.
and that in front of you is a gunmetal gray wall that looks almost like a cell. You sort of look around and get a better sense and see that this is in fact a cell. There's, a sort of shitty bed in the corner with a ragged blanket and pillow on top, some restroom facilities and a tray sitting up at the front with some half-eaten food. You look behind you and see that there is a figure standing at the open door to the cell. It's a man wearing a leather jacket. He has a katana strapped across his back, and he is holding a large caliber rifle in his hands. Under the jacket, he is wearing a black suit of plastic armor that has a logo on the lapel that looks like a sort of snaking vine with 2 leaves on one side and 1 leaf on the other. You look down at your arms and you see that your right arm is wearing that exact same sort of armor. You see that your left arm is like the glove is sort of hanging limply, like down as though there's nothing inside it.
Oh, so it's almost like my left arm is gone.
Almost.
Almost, okay.
So you break this embrace and pull back, and you see that the person that you were hugging is Miles. He looks much worse for the wear. His face is bloodied and bruised, but it's him. He doesn't seem particularly conscious.
Okay.
But
Is he returning the embrace?
He, as you let the embrace go, starts to like slump over.
Okay.
But the figure in the doorway says to you, "All right, moment's over. We got the package. Let's move."
Okay, so that means they probably know me. I was with them. Can I search Miles to see if there's any stuff on his person that I can collect with me?
Sure. You search Miles and you find that he is like naked under this hospital gown. There was like nothing in this cell that you can find. You do take this moment to search yourself, and you see that strapped to your waist, you still have your pistol, but you do not have your submachine gun. You're wearing this armor, which mechanically you have 14 armor, not 11. You feel that your agent is still in your pocket, as is your wad of cash, although it feels smaller than you remember. You would need to like actually go and check that specifically to know how much. You see that dangling off your waist is a key card on a chain, and then also on your waist is the distinctive rounded profile of a fragmentation grenade.
Okay.
In addition, you have a knife that is wedged in the upper part of your boot.
Okay. Is it going through my foot, or is it just on the side of the boot?
No, just on the side,
weapon?
like it's just stored there.
Okay, got it. Awesome.
As you stand up, you also feel like a little bit of vertigo, and you feel like you're not at 100%, and this sort of tingling sensation continues.
Okay.
You feel a pressure against your chest, like there's some things pressed against it.
But is that the plastic armor, or can I look down and see
Under the
something?
armor.
Okay, under the armor, okay. What's on the key card?
The key card says...
Does it say company name, or?
Yep, it has that same logo, and it says Biotechnica.
Biotechnica, okay.
It has a name, Richard Simmons, and
that's not my name.
Is that your name?
I'm saying that's not my name. So who the fuck is Richard?
That's the secret twist. You've been Richard Simmons this whole time.
Oh shit.
So it has a name, and then it has like an ID number, and then a barcode scan. but it
Okay,
does not have
got
a
it.
picture.
Okay. I guess we're probably gonna move quick, so I just wanna. If I do a quick search around the room, so we saw that Miles was naked. Is there anything lying on the floor? Gives us an indication of what was going on in this cell. Do I see any bits of my arm? Maybe blood on that doctor guy who had the scrubs?
Miles is the one wearing the,
Oh, he was the okay.
yeah. So no, I mean, there's some like leftover blood on Miles. Whatever's happened to him in the meantime, someone was probably beating him up, but you don't see a ton of signs in this room specifically.
Okay. And final question is, can we use our agent to do any kind of like fast analysis or leave a tracker on Miles, or is that beyond our capability?
No, you would not have a tracker on Miles.
Okay, all right. Just had to check. All right, let's go with the guy who's yelling at us. I guess I'm the package, or they have the package.
Do you pick up Miles to start walking, or like how are you trying to get Miles? Or are you just turning to like look at him?
Well, so I was turning towards the guy at the beginning of the cell. It seemed like probably not able to bring Miles.
He looks at you and then sort of cocks his head to his side and says, "Right, you're probably not going to be able to carry him in your condition. All right, swap. You get that gun out and lead the way back to 12,
Okay.
and we'll find our way out of here."
All right. I pull my gun by my side then.
He walks past you and picks up Miles on his back, or like in his arms. He slings the rifle across his back.
Do I have any traces of like phantom limb? Is my limb actually some kind of new cool holographic shit, or is it like actually
Your
missing?
arm is continuing to like flop, but strangely you don't feel any sort of pain.
Okay.
You just feel this tingling sensation.
All right. Got it. I guess we're leading the way to turn around. Miles is safely with the other guy.
Oh, sorry, you did find one other thing on your belt.
Okay.
You found a bottle of pills that's half empty.
Okay. Does that also have Richard Simmons' name on them, or
It does not, no. There's like a long
just a list of meds?
pharmaceutical name label
Okay.
of what the actual drug inside is. You can give me an education roll to try and figure out what this actually like does.
Okay. 19.
Yeah, you actually have seen this specific type of drugs before because they are a type of synthetic drug that you have sold. The street name for this drug is Rage, and it is a highly addictive type of stimulant that essentially it's a mental blocker for pain receptors that allows people to sort of exert more than when your body would normally tell you to stop.
Okay.
And I think with that high of an education role, you put together that this tingling sensation, it's probably the after effects or ongoing effects of taking Rage.
Okay. Do I remember if I used to be a user while I sold, or?
You were not, no.
Okay, got it.
So you lead the way out of the cell and you step out into a hallway. The hallway goes to your right and your left. Directly in front of you is a closed door. To your right, there are two more doors, like on the sides of the hallway. And then at the very end of the hallway, where it sort of dead ends, there is another door that looks larger and less secured than the doors that are on this hallway itself.
Okay.
It has a red exit sign over it and then a blue light flashing over that. To your left, you see that the hallway goes to a T-junction that then splits from there.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a guess since my left arm is fucked that we're probably escaping something. Exit sign might be arm, so let's go left.
Okay, you move left and make it to the T-junction. Do you look left or right first?
Let's stick with left.
You look left and you see that it's another short hallway that ends in a dead end. There's
Okay.
no door at the end of this dead end, but there are four more of those small armored looking doors, two on each side. They look the same as the three doors that you saw in the previous hallway.
Okay. Let's look right now.
You look right and you see a much more interesting scene. There is a long hallway that seems to be leading out to some sort of room up ahead or some sort of opening.
Okay.
Close to you in the hallway, there are trails of red on the ground, and you see the bodies of two figures wearing this same black armor lying sprawled on the ground.
Those are the only two dead, or amongst the dead?
So there are those two dead there.
Okay.
Farther up the hallway, you see that the walls are just scored with bullet marks. There on the ground On one side is the body of a woman. She's wearing a black jumpsuit and has dreadlocks
Hmm.
that interspersed with the dreadlocks are large wires that connect from the back of her head to her spine.
Oh shit. Okay.
And on the side of the jumpsuit are like keyboards built into her flanks. She is lying there. Her face is streaked with red pouring out of her eyes,
Okay.
nose, mouth, and ears. From the waist down, she's also wearing a pair of almost like maintenance worker style coveralls, but you can see that the top of it has been roughly cut away. Oh, sorry, I forgot something earlier. Your
All good.
left arm is actually being held to your chest by a sling right now.
Okay.
That's my bad. And the sling actually appears to be made of the same material
Of the
as
plastic.
that woman's coveralls.
Oh, okay. Oh, so maybe okay.
You also see in that like opening in the room, there's a lot of sort of charred black, but you'll need to get closer to see, like, get a better view of what that room looks like.
Okay. So I have a feeling we probably came from there. Probably shit went down. So I don't know if we're gonna go into the room, but I do want to see if we can gather a few materials from here. Given that Miles is still pretty naked and we're gonna be exiting with him.
Hmm.
Anyway, so first thing, can we go to the woman? Can we see if we can take her? It sounds like her coveralls are just pants now.
Yes.
Are we able to recover those as material for Miles?
Yeah, you can grab those.
Okay, and then I thought this was interesting. You said she had wires in her head connected to keyboards. Am I able to wire into her with my agent and see what she was last doing?
Give me a cyber tech roll.
12?
You recognize that this face bleeding pattern is consistent with someone who was jacked in to a net and then got hit with black ice, a like lethal to humans computer virus.
Okay, so I do not want to jack into her.
As you draw close, you see that she also has several bullet holes in her chest that are slightly leaking blood.
All right, so we've got the coveralls, and can we pick up any of the armor from the two dudes up front to put on Miles?
You start doing that, and the man who's holding him says, "Look, if I get we want to put him in armor, but let's just go to the armory around the way and get some clean stuff."
Hmm.
If you ever think someone's lying, you can roll human perception.
All right, let's try it. Let's try it. Let's do a human perception. So I got a 1 plus 10 plus 2, so I'm at a 12.
But remember, a 1 is a crit fail.
Ah, yes, okay. Shit. 8. I got an 8.
He seems trustworthy.
Okay. All right, let's follow him. Let's follow him to the armory. I'm guessing that's back towards the exit sign then.
No, he actually keeps going towards this room in front of you. You follow him out there. You see, as you step into the room, that the walls here are just wrecked with shrapnel. On the right-hand side of the wall, as you're walking in, you see that there's a gash torn in it, as though just thousands of bullets tore a gash in the wall.
Okay.
And you see that around that gash is a faint red stain. You walk into this room and you see the mangled bodies of 3 more guards wearing the same uniform. Some of them have been clearly pocked with the shrapnel of some sort of explosion. There is some sort of console in the center of the room, but it looks heavily damaged and is periodically sparking. You see hanging from the ceiling the limp forms of 2 automatic turrets. Their barrels of the miniguns that they had are like hanging towards the ground, inoperable. You look to your right and you see a hallway, but the hallway has been sealed shut by a very thick-looking storm door. You look straight ahead and you see that there is a long hallway that ends in a expensive-looking mahogany door. And then to your left, you see 3 doors. If you're thinking like a compass, one is directly west, one is northwest, one is southwest. The west and southwest ones, the doors are actually still on their frames, but holes appear to have been cut in them by some sort of welding tool. Then the one to the northwest is actually open. And inside that door, you see a figure standing there wearing this same guard uniform, holding a large shotgun and aiming it at a young woman and a young man who both look kind of nerdy. They're wearing like business casual, and are typing on a bank of computers in the room.
Let's check it out.
You walk over, and the figure with the shotgun nods to you and says, "Did you get the package?
Yes.
All right, now we just gotta get our way out of here."
Do you have any ideas?
She motions to the
Two programmers.
well, she keeps her shotgun trained on the programmers, but she sort of motions her head for the man to join you. And she says, "Well, the three of us should figure it out. 13, you have any ideas?" And the man shakes his head and says, "Well, we know the elevators are compromised. And, I mean, it seems like they're running now, but they're running full guards. We don't have a good way off the roof unless we can find either some way to jump or some way to call for a ride from the boss. So, I mean, we take the stairs down and hope they're not guarded." That seems like a stretch.
13, you got some courage. Okay.
The woman says, "I mean, we could try and sneak out. We've got the uniforms. We've got key cards. As long as they don't scan to see who exactly got killed up here, maybe that would work."
How long can these programmers disable security for? What's our time limit to escape?
You ask this, and the woman takes the shotgun and gestures towards these two programmers as though to ask them the question directly.
Yeah.
She's going to make an intimidation check. 16. She brandishes the shotgun towards these two, and they quake back with fear a little bit. The young one says, "Oh, we can... I mean, there's no way to disable the alarm from here, but the storm door is probably going to hold. It's...
What about past there? You open the storm door and then what? Where do we run? Can you roll the nap out my agent?
You do not have a map. Do you mention asking for a map out loud?
Yes.
Okay. The man holding Miles says, "I mean, best we got is that glove that 11 had." He walks back out into the room and grabs something off the console, comes back and is holding a black glove that looks like it was part of the jumpsuit that this dead woman was wearing. The palm of it has some sort of circular device, and he takes the glove and smacks it against the wall, and the glove sort of flickers to life for a second. This blue hologram projection of a skyscraper appears.
Amazing. Okay.
You see that the skyscraper is quite large. It has a helipad on top, and then it has a underground parking garage below it. And he says, "I mean, this is the best we got. It seems like it got broken, and we don't have a way to zoom it, but..."
Can I ask 12 or 13, do they know what floor we're on right now?
Yeah, 56.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Out loud. 12, 13 can say what they want. Programmers can also yell back if they think I'm saying anything crazy. But we're at 56. This is a skyscraper. There's a helipad. They can get us through the storm door.
You start describing this plan, and 12 elbows you in the side, and you feel a sharp pain that cuts through this medication you're on. And she gestures the shotgun towards the two people and says, "How about you go explain the plan to 13 out of earshot of the two Biotechnica employees?"
Sorry, 12. I thought you just killed them once this was over, but okay, good idea.
You say that, and the two of them shrink back in fear. Okay, so do you walk out of the room to go?
We do walk out.
So you walk out of the room. 13 actually leads you to the southwest of those three rooms, and you see that you're in a armory room. There's different firearms lining the walls. There's sets of armor. He actually goes and replaces the set of armor he's wearing with a different one that's undamaged.
Okay, great.
You can do the same thing to go back up to 15 armor if you would like.
Yes, I can. What do I have to do, a roll?
No. They definitely have enough armor for you to take.
Awesome. Do we got stuff for Miles as well, or?
Yes. Just roll plus dexterity to see how well you can get this armor fitted on an unconscious person.
I rolled a 1, so I do 8 minus 3, so 5.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's on him.
Great.
Yeah, you get this armor on Miles. You're also, if you would like to search around more, just tell me you want to make a perception check, but it will take time to do. I don't know how much time you have.
Yeah, I think we should probably get ahead with the plan. So we got our armor on. I think we're good with our weapons. Looks like 13's got his weapon. So it's just a matter of making sure we get a helicopter up top. Can I ask 13 if he has a way of phoning our associates to get a helicopter up there by the time we reach the top?
He shakes his head and says, I mean, the problem is the boss isn't going to want to send in an Aerodyne or anything as slow as a helicopter after what happened with Kuomori. Biotechnica's got to have beefed up their air defenses. I mean, it's possible they haven't figured out how to spot that stealth Aerodyne that was used before, but then we'd have to find a way to make the call without getting traced. And unfortunately, our net runner is lying out there on the floor with several bullet holes in her chest.
What is the fastest that I could rig up a bare bones firewall or like a VPN?
That you could do it?
Yeah, because if I remember, I was the one who set up the net in our
Miles
the
was the
firewall
one who set up the net.
Oh, okay. Could we intimidate the programmers to shift their focus to that?
Potentially.
Okay, let's go back there and see if we can run that by 12.
Okay, you go in. So what exactly are you trying to convince the programmers to do?
Basically, if we're trying to get our call routed out to somebody in our organization without local tracking, I imagine we need some kind of firewall or a VPN in between. I don't need anything sophisticated, just something that routes our connection to random spoof servers.
Okay, give me a persuasion check. This won't be super hard because you guys have scared the shit out of these two.
14.
I mean, it seems like they've created a firewall. You don't have a great sense of like tech in general. Who's going to try and make the call?
I'm gonna put it on.
Do you know who to call?
I thought 13 might.
You're going to pull out your agent and like hand it to 13 after they set up a firewall, basically?
Yes.
Okay. You do that. The two in the booth basically clack away on their computers and have your agent jacked in, and then while it's still wired in, hand it over to 13. He's going to make a check. Okay. He then takes the agent, dials in a number, and then you hear him say, I'm so sorry to bother you with this, boss, but we're going to need to call it back in that Kuomori asset. Extraction from the roof. Yes, thank you, sir. And he clicks the phone off and hands it back to you.
Okay. 13, it sounds like we got it.
We just got to make our way up to the roof. You also look outside and you see that those storm doors, the ones that are closed, you start to see sparks flying from the center of the doors. They're doors that come in from either side and seal in the middle. And now you start to see sparks down that line in the middle. Looks like someone is trying to cut through.
Oh, someone's cutting through. It's not the programmers opening it up. Okay, shit. 12, how's your armor looking?
She says, good enough.
Okay, we gotta get on the offensive.
She says, elevators are through that door. And she gestures to the one they're cutting through. And then, I mean, stairs are over where we came in. Do we want to climb 50 flights of stairs?
So, alright, if we climb the stairs, we can probably get out at the next floor if they're cutting in here. So, yeah, let's do that. Let's get the... Can I do a check to see if the programmers can shut a few doors behind us as we run towards the stairs?
Sure. Give me another persuasion check.
I got 17.
They nod, scared. The fact that you threatened to, like, kill them means that now that you've said something that would require them to be alive after you left the room is pretty encouraging to them.
Okay, great.
So the two of them nod. They're, pretty scared in their corner.
I want to pat them on the head and tell them thank you. And just to throw them off, I'll give them a kiss on the forehead. After I do that, we run back towards the stairs.
Okay.
And I guess you let me know if the sparks have started getting bigger.
I mean, the sparks are farther down the door. They're probably about halfway to cutting through. Are all three of you going to run back towards the stairs?
Yes.
Okay. As you run past 11's body on the ground, and then slightly farther, another set of storm doors now slam shut behind you, blocking off the way between you and that room you were just in.
Awesome. Okay.
And you guys are able to make it through that sort of cell block and out to the stair door.
Okay, awesome. Let's up or down. Let's go down a floor and check the elevators there.
You walk down one floor of the stairwell. You like get to this door. Do you walk out into the new floor or?
Let's walk out. Yep.
You walk out into the new floor. Give me a perception check.
16.
You see that you have emerged in a large open area. You see like two elevator banks. And you see that the room that you're in right now is almost like a large warehouse room, and there are actually some vehicles inside it. So it looks like there are a couple of aerodynes that have weapons mounted to the roof and
Okay.
that have this same Biotechnica logo on the side.
Okay.
You see another couple like nondescript black SUVs, and then another two black SUVs that have the logo on the side. And you see that next to the elevator bank that you can determine like corresponds to the main elevator bank, the one that would be above you, there's a second larger elevator that looks like a freight elevator. Staged around the like smaller personnel elevator, you see at least a dozen guards. They're standing in a circle around one guard with their helmet off. She's standing on a raised platform and she seems to be giving some sort of speech.
Okay. Will this aerodyne be large enough to fit in that freight elevator?
It seems like it would, yeah.
And the freight elevator is past these guards who are having a speech.
So the elevator with the guards is farther away. The freight elevator is closer to you.
Okay, awesome. All right, I'm running this plan by 12 and 13. I'm saying, let's steal the Biotechnica brand aerodyne. Let's take it to the top with the freight elevator. You can roam around in a little bit, and that'll be our quick escape into our own aerodyne. No one will notice.
They basically shrug and they're like, I mean, it's as good a plan as any. It doesn't involve us getting shot, so that's a plus. You make your way over to the aerodyne. You find that the doors are locked, so I'm going to need a basic tech check to get it open. Remember, you can use luck as well.
I did a 9 and a normal roll, so that gives me a 10. And can I add a point of luck, or do you?
So for each point of luck, it's +1 to the roll.
Okay.
Remember that for target numbers, 18 is something that you would be trained to do. 14 is something most adults can do.
Okay. So I think I'm actually 9, 3, 13. So I guess I'll take 5 of my luck.
You know,
so
so
I'll make
5
it
is your
18.
luck. Okay. Takes you down to 2 luck. You futz with the lock, and as you are sort of fumbling with it, the key card on the lanyard on your waist just like happens to swing in front of a secret scanner on the door. Like it wouldn't have appeared if you were just looking at it.
Okay.
And the door clicks and slides open gull wing style.
Nice. Okay, awesome. So we're in.
Yep, you guys are able to get inside the aerodyne and boot it up.
Great. Let's move it towards the freight elevator.
You start moving it towards the freight elevator, and as you do, one of the guards notices and starts pointing towards you. You see that the guards are like starting to react. They haven't necessarily like totally caught on, but this is unauthorized movement in the garage.
Can I take my hand out of the window and be just like a, hey, don't worry about it kind of thing?
You can try. Yeah, that's a persuasion check. It's going to be hard because you're currently on lockdown, but you can certainly give it a shot.
Let's fucking do it, man. YOLO.
Okay.
Fuck, I roll 13.
You roll down the window and you start waving to the guards outside, and immediately you see the guards raise their weapons and start firing at the aerodyne. So I'm going to roll some damage as it plinks off your aerodyne. You fortunately are, well, let me roll something. Yeah, you fortunately are not hit as bullets start plinking off the side of the aerodyne. You quickly roll the window back up, and as you do, you see 12 in the back jumps on a console.
Okay.
And she tries to sort of boot it up and start using the turret that's mounted on the top. But as she does, the screen starts like flashing with some sort of reset. Like the Aerodyne is still booting somehow and the turret is
Mm-hmm.
not ready to use. But back to you.
Okay, so I guess we're slowly moving it forward at least. We're getting towards the freight elevator. Can I throw my key card at 12 so she can try and use that for some sort of authorization while we close in towards the freight elevator?
Sure. You toss it back to 12. She tries scanning it and she's going to get another go. She swipes it under and the screen turns green and then a video feed of the outside pops up on it with a targeting reticle. And you
Awesome.
hear the of a heavy caliber machine gun start firing off the roof.
Okay.
You see at the window that you've now closed that the guards have started taking cover and hiding behind things.
Awesome.
You've pulled up basically to the freight elevator. The doors of the elevator are closed.
Can we see a button to open them, or
Give me a perception check.
21.
You spot a console to the right-hand side. The guards are to your left. The console is to your right. That seems like it would be what operates this elevator.
Okay. I grab the key card back from 12, and can I tell 11 to run towards it? Because he has both hands.
13, but...
Oh, 13, yes.
Yes. He nods, and you open the door. He sprints out to try and get this door open. So I'm going to roll tech check to see if he can get this working like under pressure.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll an attack roll for 12 to see how well she can suppress everyone. So
Cool.
I'll start with 12. She did quite well. People seem to really be keeping their heads down. And you see 13 like runs up, basically like smashes a button. The door is slowly sliding open. He runs back and jumps back inside the Aerodyne. The door is like about halfway open now.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah,
I look at 13 and 12 real quick. I tell them after all this is done, I'm going to get their faces tattooed on me because this is amazing. They're doing a great job.
They look at you sheepishly.
Okay, all right. We make our way towards the elevator door. As it's opening, there's nothing inside, right?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay.
I'm going to check something though. Yeah, nothing inside.
Okay, awesome. We wait it out. Can I check on Miles? What's his status?
Yeah, he seems breathing but still unconscious. You can try and bring him to with a first aid check.
So I have 6.
6 total.
Yeah,
He's still out like a light. He seems to be sleeping slightly more peacefully now on like the padded seats of this Aerodyne.
Great. How's that door looking?
You are able to swing the Aerodyne inside and pull in. The doors are now open and they are not automatically closing. It seems like you'll need to actually get out and plug in a destination.
Okay, got it. I guess it's my go. So I'll go ahead and get out and try and plug it in for helipad.
Okay, give me a tech check.
We got 13.
Yeah, you basically look at this wall of possible buttons and just pick the highest one. Slam your fist down. You see that the turret on the roof of this Aerodyne is slowly moving back and forth, just a wall of lead. And you see guards like duck down behind the other vehicles outside. And then as the elevator starts like lurching, you see a guard hop inside one of the other armed Aerodynes.
Oh, shit.
Lets forth a blast towards yours. So I'm going to roll to see if he hits.
Oh,
fuck. Potentially important.
Yeah, he's going to get this.
He doesn't. The blast goes wide and punches a hole in the side of the elevator.
Okay.
And you actually see daylight poke through for a moment before the elevator starts rising.
Okay.
You are now in this elevator rising up towards the top of the building. I'm going to roll something.
I have an elevator question. The music that's playing in the elevator, is it to everyone's liking, or
to no
is someone annoyed? Yes.
Not a single person likes the music.
Not a single person likes it. Damn, okay.
Yeah, it's a tough sell. As this sort of adrenaline is building up, go ahead and give me your first luck roll.
12.
You actually pass. What did you roll for that? Did you roll a 10? Because remember, you only have 2 luck points left. Gee whiz, Batman.
Sorry. Did I do the wrong die? I did a D10 plus... Oh, I roll a 7.
Okay, so that's a 9, so it's actually your first strike.
Okay.
So you are scaling up the edge of this building in the elevator when suddenly the elevator comes to a halt between floors.
Damn. Does it say which floor we're stuck between?
You see that like ticker on the inside. It had just left 92 and
Okay.
was like about to hit 93.
93. So we still have 8 floors to the helipad. Okay. Are aerodynes able to go upwards, or do they just fly at their given height
Yeah, they
once
can go
they're...
upwards.
Okay. I'm throwing this at 12 and 13. What if we break open the elevator, make our way up to the helipad in the aerodyne?
12 starts aiming the turret up above to like cut a hole in the roof of the car that you're in.
Yeah.
And 13 grabs that little handhold thing above. Sounds like it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Let's do it.
Give me a driving check. You are at a -1 because you have no hand on your left side.
We're at a 16.
Yeah, so 12 lets forth a burst of machine gun fire, and part of the steel of the roof of this freight elevator starts falling down, looking like it's going to crush your car. And you successfully floor it forward and dip under it and start pulling up. It scrapes the roof of the car, and you hear the rending noise of steel on steel,
Uh-huh.
and you see a hole gets carved in like part of the roof.
Oh,
But
shit.
fortunately, it seems to have missed like the parts that make the car go.
Okay. Amazing. I utter Leroy Jenkins as we're doing this. I don't know if the meme is too outdated for 12 and 13.
They have no recognition.
No. Okay.
But you were able to blast out to this upper level, and you pull the car to a stop, hovering behind a closed door on the top floor.
Okay. Great. So I guess we have to blow open the door, right? So
13 says, let me roll something for him. No, you can continue. Never mind.
okay. Okay, so I just need a quick visual picture. So this was the building. We got out of the elevator and we're outside of a door.
You're at the top of an elevator shaft. The elevator door is closed.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I guess we don't have any machines that would open it up. Are we able to use console to ask the door open, or do we have to shoot?
It doesn't seem like it. It seems like any controls that would open this door are either on the other side or in the car that's stuck
Hard,
below you.
Okay. All right. I guess we got a turret from the aerodyne.
Okay, she's going to roll to see how well she can blast this open. She tears like a ragged set of bullet holes down the center, but it is staying closed. It seems like it's weakened, but not totally like falling off its hinges, that sort of thing.
Okay. Let's ram through.
All right, give me another driving check.
So I actually got a 15.
Damn. So turns out like it's not hard to back a car up and then floor it straight forward and without needing to turn, right? It's not actually that hard of a check. So yeah, you floor it and the car bursts through out
Nice.
onto this helipad on the roof.
Oh,
As you
snap.
leave the darkness of this building, you have to shield your eyes for a moment from the bright morning sunlight above Night City. You've got this helipad stretching out in front of you,
Right.
and it looks like behind you, you came out of some, essentially like the elevator would extend up above that level, right? So they could pull something out onto the helipad and then take
Yeah,
off
that
from the
makes
helipad
sense.
sort of thing. Give me a perception check.
14.
You also see some sort of shapes on the edge of the building that are slowly moving right to left, like some sort of automatic device.
I feel like we saw something similar with the turrets on floor 56 we were on. So I'm going to take a guess that those are turrets. Our car is a little crazy. So here's my strategy. I'm poking 12 and 13 again. They're probably getting so fucking annoyed at me by this point, but they gotta listen to me. I'm the fucking boss, it seems. How? I have the memory loss, these stupid fucks, but okay. So I want to put the car on autopilot while we set the turrets to kind of go in a whizzing motion towards what we saw.
So you're trying to use the Aerodyne as a decoy, basically?
Yeah, fuck it, we can't use it anymore. We're just gonna have to wait for our own. this one is gonna go out and shoot at that shit.
Yeah, the two of them nod, and 13 says, "Yeah, I mean the stealth Aerodyne should be here any moment, and yeah, it's a better way out.
It's stealthy.
Why don't we wait until it's actually here so that it provides a good distraction?"
Okay, I believe
And
him from before.
you wait for like a very tense 60 seconds, and then you see a like slight ripple on the horizon, like a cloud, something seems to pass in front of it,
Hmm.
and the light refracts in a strange way.
Nice.
And 13 says, "There it is. It's hard to spot if you don't know what you're looking for, but it's about 30 seconds out, and
All
you want
right,
to
now's our time.
enact your plan."
Let's do it.
All right, give me one last tech roll to get the autopilot to drive this thing out. This one won't be super hard because you are just kind of telling it to fly straight, right?
Yes. So I got an 8.
Okay. You step out of the car, you set this autopilot, and you see the car just flies like straight ahead off the edge of the building.
Zoom,
No
zoom.
turn whatsoever. As soon as it leaves the helipad, you see these shapes on the edge of the building all snap towards it immediately, and you hear as barrels on them spin up, and then a just steel rain of bullets flies at it, just obliterating it out of the air. As this happens, you also see another device like pop out, and it lets out some sort of pulse. You see like this blue electronic looking wave come out in a large bubble.
Hmm.
And as the stealth Aerodyne approaches, it looks like almost a sports car. It pulls in, and as the pulse flies over it, the pulse crosses the stealth pattern, and the car just reveals itself. It seems like whatever this pulse was has disabled the stealth. The stealth car swerves underneath the wreckage of this distraction that you made, and
Okay,
the turrets are not able to like track this stealth vehicle quickly enough,
good
and it's
for
able
us.
to pull inside their range and lands in front of you on the roof. The door slides open.
We run in.
Inside there is a like lounge area. It's almost limousine style. There clearly is some driver up front, but you can't see them.
Can I do one thing before we set off?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that Biotechnica might have a lot of tech embedded in their ID cards, so I want to throw the ID card out of the stealth airdyne.
Okay,
Just
you
not with
toss
us.
your ID card. You see 12 and 13 also toss out ID cards that they had.
Nice.
I'm going to make a roll for this driver. Roll. He crit succeeds.
Woohoo!
So this car zooms forward, runs towards the edge of the building, and then just right as it goes over the lip and passes into the sort of scanning range of these turrets, immediately the driver just cuts power, and you free fall 30 stories down the edge of the building
Oh god.
until you are outside the range. The power comes back on, and you slide sailing away. And as you do, the stealth coating around the car seems to turn back on. Like whatever was disabling it, you're outside that range. Your car circles through the skyscrapers before gradually looping back around and settling in a separate parking garage right next to the tower for a company known as Ted Ick.
Can't
Uh,
believe we made it.
it settles down and the door slides open. 13 and 12 get out, and 13 says, "Well, time to report back to the boss."
Okay. Yeah, I guess good mission guys. What do we do with Miles? Are you taking him or
"Well, we need to bring him up to show that he's secure, but then I believe he's free to go."
okay, all right, let's can I do a perception check? What is it?
Yeah, it's
Human
human perception.
all right. I got an 18.
It seems like as far as he knows, he's telling the truth.
Great. Let's go forward.
Okay, the two of them lead you through this garage. They lead you to a skyway that's across to a checkpoint inside the building. The guard at the checkpoint stops all of you because you're all wearing the
Oh,
corporate
sure.
security uniforms of a different company. But after 12 and 13 like show credentials, you're all waved through. the guard does like confiscate the weapons that you guys have on you.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, he confiscates your weapons, not the other two.
Okay.
And you are led over to just an elevator bank. No one's stopping you or anything. And
Okay.
you ride up the elevator after 13 punches in a button. You arrive on a floor most of the way up the building,
Mm-hmm.
step out, and they lead you to an ornate office. Do you just follow them into the room?
So I want to see if I can. This is even something I can do. Is there like a memory check to see if anything has jogged my memory from the walk from the car up to this room?
You do not remember ever having been in this room.
Okay, so nothing about this building.
There's no way to remember what another player would know.
Okay, got it. Yes, well, can I scan around first? Is the room the only thing there?
Sure, give me a perception check.
19.
Yeah, I mean, you came out of the elevator into like a nice reception landing, and then they took you to the right, and it came to sort of a junction where to the left was like a front office, and then the door toward this big fancy office that they're trying to take you into. Otherwise, down the other side of this hallway are a bunch of smaller offices. The closest one is labeled Pia Hastings, and there's a young South Asian woman inside who sees you and looks at you angrily.
Angrily. Okay.
Yeah, but otherwise, the floor seems to be mostly corporate offices.
Okay. I'm curious about why she's looking at me angry. If there's no penalty, can I go talk to her?
Yeah, you motion just to wait for a second. So 13 is still holding Miles, and 12 and 13 wait. You sort of walk up to the office, and as you approach, she goes from like looking at you to staring very intently at her computer.
I knock on her window.
She looks up at you and says, "Haven't you done enough?"
What have I done, Pia?
She starts crying when you say that.
I tell her to open the door.
She shakes her head no.
I break open the door.
Okay, she looks very scared as you do this and starts like backing into the corner, and she reaches under the desk and pulls out a small handgun.
Okay, I put my hands up showing no danger. I just want to know what happened.
You kidnapped me.
When? Why?
It was less than 12 hours ago.
Okay, Pia, I'm gonna be real with you. I have a serious problem, and it's not alcoholism. I need you to kind of tell me what's going on here, because I think I'm about to be in some serious shit, and you seem to be the only one who can help me.
Even if I could, I wouldn't want to. First of all, you killed a man in cold blood right in front of me.
I can neither
You're the
confirm
worst
nor deny.
healthcare provider I've ever seen.
Healthcare, Pia? I'm not even a certified doctor. What?
Well, then what were you doing with that insurance team?
I had to find my friend. I'm not sure what I did to help find him, but we found him now, and I need to make sure I'm doing the right thing by taking him in there. Do you know who the man at the end of the office is?
Yeah, that's Mr. Tetsuo. You were talking with him last night, and it seemed like things were fine.
Okay. Pia, I don't know what happened between us, but I'm going to warn you. I don't know what's going to happen between me and Mr. Tetsuo now. So if you get somewhere safe, please believe me. If I run into you again, I would love for you to help me.
Can you get out of my office, please?
I back away.
She watches you carefully as you back like around the corner, and otherwise, yeah, the two figures are waiting for you to take you into this office.
All right, so let's go into the office.
Okay, you step inside. It's a very well furnished office. It's sparse, but in a classy way, which I realized I said it was both well furnished and sparse, but the
No, that
sparseness
means
is
it's
done very well.
minimalist design.
Exactly. So you see that there's a sleek desk, and there's a man sitting behind it in a plush leather chair. He has several computer monitors on his desk. He's wearing a very tailored suit, and he has coiffed black hair that's clearly been well manicured, but there's a single gray strand hanging down in front of his face.
Why did you make him so sexy? What the fuck?
Calls him like I sees him. You step into the room. He sees you all there. He looks up from the book that he's reading, like an actual physical book, and he sets it down on the desk and says, "Well, sounds like the mission actually was a success. Seems you are entitled to a bonus as promised."
Thank you, Mr. Tetsu. I can't thank you enough, but You're gonna help my friend Miles here, right? We're gonna get out of this?
He nods and says, I believe my contract relationship with your friend Miles there has reached its end. He will receive medical treatment from our doctors here in the building and be sent on his way.
Perfect. Can I do a perception check to scan around the room?
Yeah, for sure.
16.
I mean, you see that there's a bookshelf behind the desk, and you see that the ceiling is consistently patterned throughout, but over the desk, there are the lines of like two sort of hatches that would open. Something could come down from the ceiling.
All right, yeah, I guess I'll let this interaction continue and try and hold Miles as close to me as I can.
Sure. He types something on his desk and he says, would you give your agent here?
Sure.
You hand it over. He futzes through something and then types on his computer, hands it back to you. And you see you have a new notification from your bank that you've been wired €6,000.
6,000? I just had 100 before this.
That is correct. He says, this is the bonus as promised.
Thank you, Mr. Tetsuo. I don't know what to say.
Well, I would say that I think we could still have a bit of a working relationship, you and I.
What kind of jobs do you envision?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that. Procurement. I think I'm about to have a vacancy. And as he says this, he presses a button on his desk. I'm going to do a perception check for someone. And you see two automated turrets fold down from the ceiling, and they aim directly at 13 and fire. Just shred this man.
Oh,
A rain
no.
of bullets hits him in the chest. The leather jacket is torn to shreds, and he falls to the ground, bleeding. The man behind the desk says, it is very important to me that the reputation of this company be preserved. Sending a traceable call from within the bounds of another company's tower while on a security alert. This is not forgivable behavior.
Okay, I try and keep my face as emotionless as possible.
Give me another luck check as this
Okay.
happens in front of you. You need an 11.
I have an 11.
All right, you're still in it. I mean, you still have two more to go.
Yes, okay, so keeping my face straight as possible, I let him know that, Mr. Tetsuo, my reputation is important to me as well, and you know me as a skilled freelancer. I'll be more than happy to take your contracts with honor, but I must maintain my integrity too.
He says, indeed, and you might even be a more useful freelancer if you didn't lose your memory every few hours. Is that correct?
Seems like you have good sources, Mr. Tetsuo, but as you can see, I always manage to find my way back. I remember the kidnapping mission from just a couple hours ago. I remember you and we have a good relationship, so I may have a problem, but I have my resources too.
Sure. Give me a persuasion check.
21.
He nods and he says, I'm sure you can be useful without a memory as well. I'll let you decide what you want to do with that, but the funds are there when you wish to get a new round of cybernetic implants.
Hell yeah, okay.
He then nods towards 12 and says, 12, you've done quite well. Your bonus will be wired through direct deposit. And she nods and walks out of the room, leaving the blood-stained corpse of 13 on the ground nonchalantly.
Shit. Okay, so I guess that is our cue to exit as well. I say, Mr. Tetsuo, can you direct me to the doctor for Miles and we'll be on our way?
He nods and he also hands you a business card with
Okay.
his phone number on it. He says, my assistant, Miss Hastings, will take you to the doctor.
Okay.
And presses a button, and Pia walks into the room just glaring at you. But she has to be professional. So she leads you over to the elevator bank and takes you down to a floor lower in the building where there's basically a company hospital. Some doctors give Miles medical attention, and one of them asks, do you want us to check through as well?
Yes.
So they take the armor off you, and you see that you are just riddled with bullet holes. You have bandages all around you. Mechanically, you had 5 actual hit points left. You were riding on 23 temporary hit points from drugs.
Holy fuck.
Speaking of, will you give me a concentration check?
I got 16.
You get the feeling that it would be really nice to take some more of that rage sometime. Also, they take the armor off you and see that your arm, like your forearm and hand, are actually still there inside it, but only attached by like a flap of sinew and skin and basically totally taken off. One of the doctors says, I think we're going to need to replace this.
I have no reaction other than I'm fucking losing my lunch here because this is crazy to see.
Yeah, that's appropriate. And so they go to like put you under for surgery. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. And they say, I heard you had this memory problem thing. While you're in there, do you want us to check out those logs as well?
Is there a way that I can like request diagnosis without a fix?
Sure. They
Sweet.
put you under, and later you come to, you see that Miles is actually like sitting up blearily in a hospital bed next to you. You look down and you have a shiny chrome. Well, what sort of cyber-arm do you want? Do you want one that's like shiny and chrome, or do you want one that like looks like normal human skin? Either are an option.
I like the idea of the chrome. Let's do it.
Okay, so you have this shining chrome forearm, and the doctor comes up to you and says,
Looks like the Augs in your head just had some faulty parts. There was something butting up against your prefrontal cortex and it would short. I guess it still is shorting. At random, and it's preventing you from forming short-term memories. We can just put in a new set. I think you'll be fine.
Okay, and these are Tetsuo's doctors, right? In-house?
Yep.
Can I run a human perception check while we're here?
For sure.
24.
I mean, it seems like they're being genuine.
Okay. You always gotta be cautious here. Alright, so yes, can I request a fix and keep whatever parts they take out of me? Maybe we can check to see them later to see if anyone tampered with them. Any interesting side story there?
Give me a persuasion check to convince them to let you keep the parts.
13.
They shake their heads. They're not willing to let you keep them.
Damn. Okay, let's do the fix.
They put you back under, and later you wake up. Miles is like fully sitting up and eating some soup when you come to. You no longer need to worry about luck checks. You've successfully gotten surgery to get rid of your condition. To the other players, that is a thing you could have done at any point in time if you were willing to go and get money to do it. Just FYI.
This one did it. It's your boy.
You wake up, Miles looks over you and smiles, and the doctors tell you you're ready to be discharged and head home.
Okay, great. If Pia's still there.
She is not.
Okay.
She's
Great.
not in the room, at least.
Oh, she's gone. Okay. Let's get it. Let's head out. Let's head back to our apartment.
Okay, you guys walk out of the building.
Can we get a bagel on the way there?
You can go and get a bagel. You walk out of this skyscraper into downtown Night City. You see that you walked out of a building labeled Tet-Ik. Right across the street is the Biotechnica Tower. There's a spot on the wall that looks shinier and newer than the rest and still has a little bit of soot stains about a third of the way up the building. You also see that at this intersection, there's towers for Militech and Arasaka, and one block over, there's a tower for Night City News. You stop at a vendit on the way and grab a bagel and hop back on the end cart and make your way back to your apartment. You pull up to the Magnolia Street exit, step outside, you step up the stairs, and make your way back in. As you walk inside the building, Miles makes a snide comment about, was someone messing with his stuff? And you see that there's a pile of just clothes and things in the corner that looks like someone has rifled through. But otherwise, you guys get back to your apartment and you both lay down for a well-deserved nap.
Amazing.
As you're falling asleep, your TV plays quietly in the background. On it, we see a young reporter for Night City News, someone you don't recognize, despite being fairly familiar with the regular reporting staff. The reporter says, "In today's news, pharmaceutical company Tetsuo Ikimonogaku, or Tet-Ik, has publicly announced a new diabetes medication it has submitted to FDA trials. This comes as a surprising turn, as rumors had been circulating that competitor Biotechnica was soon to submit an anti-diabetic drug for regulatory approval. By moving first, Tet-Ik may be able to be the first one to bring its drug to market. Our analysts will have more during Market Watch at 11. We see the camera pan back out of your apartment. It flies back towards downtown Night City and focuses on the Tet-Ik Tower.
We pan into a similar sort of security floor to what you just saw in the Biotechnica building.
We fly past rows of guards eating lunch in the cafeteria, and then we arrive at the door of a cell.
We go through the door, and inside you see, wearing a Night City News windbreaker and some, at this point, fairly ragged slacks, Jessica, sitting on a bench looking despondent.
What?
And then we zoom up and up into the office of Shinji Tetsuo and zoom behind and see the computer screen, and you see he's looking at stock tickers, and you just see the ticker for Tet-Ik go up and Biotechnica go down, each by a pip. And we cut to black.